What's the can you guys click on the stream right now?
I can click on it from within, like the DG mindset.
But-
It says live now. I'm not sure if I can see it on my home screen yet, though.
Let's see it.
You don't see it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to make it go live?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's make it go live.
Okay, it's live.
Does it always show the time? Like every 5 seconds? Like it doesn't just like, so you watch this right here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's like a. Just wait for people to get in there.
Here goes. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Let me know where you're from in the chat. I see. So we have some visitors. Welcome to DG Mindset on YouTube Live. We have. I'm curious to know where we're from. This is just like Instagram Live, but we're going to be on YouTube Live. Where are we from? Where are we at? How are we doing? Let me know in the chat. Also, if you have any questions as well, I'm going to break some things down for you all today. Oxnard, California, Arizona. Wow, we're from all over the place. Insta Live. No, this is YouTube Live. YouTube. Oh, Navajo Reservation. Awesome. Wow. Where else? Where are we from? Where are we from? Where are we at? I should ask the question, where are we from? Where are we at? South Africa. Wow. Israel. Wow. This is cool. From all over. What questions do we have? I have some things I want to talk about today, but I would also want to, if you guys got any questions, feel free to ask them. So I will, I'll tell you this. I was meeting with somebody earlier today. We were talking about how important it is to be intentional and why you need to be intentional in life. Because being intentional was essentially you taking action on what the desire was. Here's what the issue is with a lot of people, a lot of us, including myself from time to time. We have a desire and we think, hi, Paula. Oh, Paula, not Paulina. Hi, Paula. We think that our desire will be enough. If you have a desire, it's not enough. It is not enough. So here's the formulation of how we create or do what we're looking to do, right? Or create our life. You have the desire, which spurs the want, right? This is what gets the creative juices flowing. Then the desire gives you a goal that you're working towards, right? So now the goal is really what we should be focused on. What a lot of people is we still focus on the desire. So that's why we never make it to our goal, is because we're focusing on the desire. But when you're focusing on the desire, you're coming from the place of it not existing. You don't have it. That's why you want it. You'll never want something that you already have. Go ahead and write that down. Don't at me. You will always want what you do not have. Okay? So if I want something, that means it's still a desire. If it's a desire, that means I don't have it. If I don't have it, the ego will create attachment. Wherever I have attachment, I am inducing suffering. So this is the paradox. The paradox of basically how life works. I have to actually not want it. In order to not want it, that's where intention comes in. So I'm going to give you a formula here. I plus I equals E. Okay? I plus I equals E. Meaning intentionality plus integrity plus embodiment will give you the thing that you're looking to accomplished. So it's really quite simple, because if you notice everything that we said, intentional, that's inside. Integrity, that's inside. Embodiment, that's inside. It started with you doing and being whatever it was that you were looking to become. And it doesn't matter what it is. Like, so Paula, yeah, this, I know for me personally, and sometimes you hear this in like Abraham Hicks teachings, like when you let go of it, that's when it'll be yours. It's because there is no more desire. You'll never let go of something if you don't already have it. See, I have it, and that's why I can let go of it. I have this hat here, so because I have it already, I can let go of it. But you can't let go of something that you don't have. Does this make sense? So this is why it was important for us to realize, oh, I'm still in the stage of desire. If I'm in the stage of desire, I'm actually just pushing it further and further and further and further and further away. So, oh, Davis, thank you for the first super. I appreciate it. Thank you for the love, man. So if we can start to release the desire, now you can start to embody the frequency of the desire, of the reality that you were looking to create. So if my goal is, let's just say, to be a billionaire, that's my goal. I'm just saying, if your goal was to become a billionaire, now it's about you getting to a point and realizing that, like, it wasn't outside of you. You were already it. As long as you had the self-concept of you being it. This is the other thing they're not going to tell you. They don't tell you that you are going to be the sum total of your self-concept. So whatever you are, that is, however you see yourself, that is what you are. So if this is your self-concept, this creates your personality, your personal reality. So this is the equation. I plus E equals personality. Okay? Yes, to answer your question, this live will be saved in YouTube. Absolutely. And welcome, Great Hills. So I plus E. Intentionality plus integrity plus embodiment gives me my personal reality or personality or self-concept. And this is what how we end up creating our reality. So if we go on a metaphysical level, you're not actually like, that reality already exists. It's when you put on a new mask, a new personal reality, a new personality, a new self-concept through your integrity, your embodiment, and your intentionality. You light up that part of the map that existed already, and now you start to see everything that is in line with that. So when we start understanding how this works in our third dimension, trying to make this simple as I can, you can literally do and have and be anything, but you had to be it first. And that's why I say intentionality, that's you taking action on the desire. A desire carries very little energy. Very little energy. This is why a lot of times you don't get what you want. It's because there's not enough energy. But when I have the intention, this is when we can start to create it. But you can't have an intention without the desire turning into the goal. So I have the desire, it turns into the goal. Now that it's a goal, now we can introduce being intentionality. So being intentional is you just taking action on whatever that goal was. Now, the next I, integrity. Really, really cool word. We like to throw it around a lot and make it sound important. All integrity is your thoughts, your emotions, and action are all in line with each other. They're not like this. We keep them in line. So you see, it's all one thing. Maybe one's off kilter. Oh, let's get it back in line. Maybe this one's off. No, let's get it back in line. So meaning what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and then what I'm acting upon is in line with my intention. And then what ends up happening, and when you add that I plus that I, we start to create this thing that we call embodiment. Well, if you look at the definition of manifestation, manifestation is the embodiment of an abstract thought. Intention is essentially abstract, right? Integrity is an abstract concept outside of action. So embodiment is the last part of this. And then once you embody it, it's done. I don't need the hat anymore because I'm embodying what it would be to have the hat. So I don't need the hat. But then guess what? Now that I'm embodying like I already have a hat on my head, even though the world cannot see the hat that I have, my head is warm right now. Believe it or not, my head is warm. I don't need a hat. I already have a hat. I will now light up that part of reality that already existed outside of space and time to manifest the reality of where the hat existed. wow, I found a hat. I can't believe that somebody said they had an extra hat in it. And this is how my friends are creating our reality. So what questions do we have? What is this here? Have you ever read this book? Name As a Man Thinketh. Because my perspective, it also tells we have, As a Man Thinketh. I have it right here. As a Man Thinketh by Neville Goddard, right? So I have all Neville Goddard's books right here, the Neville collection. Let's see here. Maybe it wasn't by Neville Goddard. James Allen. James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. That's who it was. Yes. What questions do we have? Let's go through. You guys are live and in effect with your boy. What questions do we have? Feel free to ask. I'm going to answer them as best as I can, perspective that I have. What questions do we have? Do we have any? So I cannot see your. Hey, Durango. Let's see here.
You can't find the chat.
No, I just hit a button. Where is it? Is it still live? Still
Yes,
live?
you're still live.
Okay. Where's it at?
So click. My bad.
Hold on, guys.
Yeah, make that bigger.
Okay. You want to do this?
Yeah, you can unplug that.
Okay. See if that works. All right.
Let's see.
This is the beauty of technology when DG is involved. You have no idea what's going to happen because technology is not something that I seek to understand really on a deep level. Probably should, but
is this the private one or is this the?
No, this is the one that I was on. I just clicked on celebrate. Let's celebrate the super chat. Is this it?
Where's the stream?
Figuring this out. For some reason, we cannot see any questions. Is it stream?
It may work best if you pull up the stream on there.
Okay. All right.
So I cannot figure out where to find those.
Leave it up to DG. He will figure out a way to make this thing go. Wow. So here's the deal. You guys are really, at the end of the day, it's about asking yourself, how do I view myself? However I view myself, that will be what I end up being. And then what I'm being is what I'm acting upon. And what I'm acting upon is what's creating my reality. I'm sending so much energy to that reality, that timeline. It lights it up. And now I jump over on that timeline and then my reality mirrors it. So asking yourself, like, really, what is it? Who is it? Who am I trying to become? What is it I'm trying to be? And then there's always going to be that gap. And the gap of you being it is going to be your fears.
So the chat's going to be on that right.
It's going to be basically like fears, insecurities, self-doubt, those things, right? Inner child wounds. That's what we have to spend time on. And then the gap gets smaller, then you end up being it. So let's see here. I got it right now. It says, Maria, hello, Maria. Do you keep goals really specific or more broad? So here's what I do. I have a specific goal in the sense of, like, I know who it is I want to become, the overarching energy of it. So the analogy I'll give you is if I'm creating a goal, and let's just say it's to be a superhero, I'm not going to say specifically of what the superhero will look like. I will be specific, though, in the energetic attributes that the superhero has. So I'm not going to say he has a red cape and blue tights, and I'm not going to say that. I'll say he's super strong. He can fly. He has X-ray vision. So now I've opened up the possibilities as to how the universe is going to present this strong, capable, whatever. Because here's what ends up happening. We get so specific in what it is that we want that we end up developing attachment to the outcome of how it's going to happen because we're so specific. There's an infinite number of ways as to how and what the manifestation will look like in the end. We need not worry about that. So I've found that the balance of being specific, but also not being too specific is really how you create this version of you to manifest this reality. So Maria said, I know the feeling of my goals, but have hard time seeing exactly what it will look like manifest in the world. So I've come to more inner goals. So really, really good that you said that. We have inner goals, we have inner intention, and we have outer intention. Okay. Inner intention is like your will. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what it's going to look like. But then the outer intention is essentially us opening our mind to know that the possibility already existed. You see what I'm saying? So I don't have to manipulate reality. I just have to move into energetic frequency that the reality that I'm looking to have or that I'm looking to experience already exists, if this makes sense. So this is for me what has helped immensely. Set the inner intention, but now focus on the outer intention. And here's what I tell myself over and over again. I don't know how, I don't know where, I don't know when, but I know it's going to happen. So I keep my mind, I keep my heart open to the infinite possibilities as the way the universe can present it. BBS veteran, thank you for your presence and following you, listening for a while now, and I applaud you. I was listening to Spotify, YouTube group talk. Wow, thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for, I truly, I appreciate it. I can't tell you guys how much, if you guys knew me 5 years ago, I never would have guessed that people would be listening to what I'm saying. That's how small I saw myself. I remember I used to say, like, there's no reason to start a podcast, even though people tell me start a podcast. For what? They don't want to listen to what I have to say. Nobody cares. It's because I didn't care what I had to say. So I always appreciate you all sharing your heart with me. I appreciate you guys sharing your energy. So thank you for that. Diana Gonzalez, how can you break a trauma bond after being discarded? Okay, I'm going to say something. Hear me when I say this, okay? The trauma was an illusion. Okay? The trauma was an illusion. The trauma didn't exist outside of your own perspective of it. That's the first thing I have to realize. I have to realize that, like, oh, wait. This doesn't exist outside of me because none of these squirrels are walking around acting like how I feel right now. My dog's not acting how I feel right now. My neighbor has no idea. So this is me right now. So now that I've created that awareness, I'm not attached to it. The mind, the ego is not attached to it through its identity. So now I can zoom out and look at it for what it actually was for. The reason why we're actually experiencing trauma, this actually comes out of my podcast episode this Friday, it's trying to get me to realize and remember that which I actually am. But in order to do that, I had to forget because this creates an energetic imbalance. But that energetic imbalance has to balance itself out. So then I go on a journey to find myself. So to answer your question, Diana, to break the trauma bond after being discarded, it's realizing that you being discarded was just so you could see the level of attachment or the level of dependency of what you needed in that person, and what you needed in that person, which is why you feel like discarded. That was actually what you were supposed to give yourself. So if I feel like somebody's going to make me whole, somebody's going to make me enough, somebody's going to make me worthy, somebody's going to make me seen, somebody's going to make me validated, that was actually all those things that I had put in them. That was what I needed to put in myself. That was what I was supposed to do for me. And when I do it for me, I won't need you to do it. Now we can have a healthy relationship because I'm not dependent. I'm not dependent on you. Game changer. Game changer when I realized that marriage was not like, I was not supposed to be dependent on my wife and her love. I was supposed to love myself. And then whatever love she could give me, it was going to be done from the level that she could love herself. But whatever love she gave me, that was lagniappe. It was extra. It was icing on the cake. I had already loved myself enough that I didn't actually need love from the outside. Do you see how this works? So for us, on this journey, whether it's an intimate relationship or any type of relationship, it will always come back to you giving yourself those things that you needed. Point blank, period. I can turn the mic off. We can drop the mic and get up out of here. So Great Hills, you said it. Have you ever experienced sound of silence? I have never experienced sound of silence. I have not. I have to check it out, though. Thank you. You said in your podcast something to the effect of, you think I'm crazy if you've heard how I talk to myself to increase love, self-esteem. Can you give us a look at what that talk? Yes, I will give you a look. Okay, here's what it is. I'm to a point now where it's a conversation. It's not, I don't need to actually talk. It's an internal dialogue. And I will say as if I'm viewing. So the future me of who I'm looking to become is talking to the present day version of me right now, as if you would talk to somebody. Good God Almighty is coming to you right now, coming straight from the source. If I was seeing myself as if I've already accomplished everything and I'm looking at this younger version of me who's trying to become what I am right now, what would I tell him? I'd look at him and say, you were already him. You know how I know you're already him? Because I'm already him. And you were me, but you just can't see it yet. So here's what I need you to do. Just keep going. Just keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. I trust me when I tell you everything's going to be exactly the way it's supposed to be. You are going to absolutely touch and heal and change this world. Just keep doing it within yourself. Don't worry about what it looks like. Just keep going. I'm a living testament that you will get there. Trust it. Trust it. Just keep going. And then when you do a good job, I'll say, yo, good job, that boy. Yes. Yes. Just keep going. So this is the way I talk to myself. This conversation is going on constantly. Constantly. Every once in a while, the version of the present day is like, yeah, but how are we going to do it? That's because there's a past version that's like, oh, no, I don't think we can do it. So the future version of me is like, nah, man, you're good. I'm here. Look, I'm standing here. We did it. Trust in that. Don't allow the negative talk. If the negative talk's coming in, that means we got some work to do. There's some wounds. Let's go ahead and work on it. So this is how I speak to myself, constantly affirming, pumping up, just as if I'm talking to somebody else. That's really how I do it. Say, hype you up, right? You have to love yourself enough so you don't need anyone else's. You can have everything you want. Yes, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Not sure if you go here. Can you touch on what Dharma is? And then, of course, karma. Yeah, so, if you read, what is it? Deepak Chopra's The Seven Spiritual Laws of Success. He was saying that Dharma was the seventh one, right? This is the last one. So if we understand it like this, everybody here has, I'm not going to say purpose because our purpose is to find meaning in life. If you were to ask me my perspective, everybody has a passion. Everybody has the thing that lights them up. Some people love being veterinarians. Some people love being public speakers. Some people love being like, whatever it is. We all have our unique individual gifts, all of us. And we say gifts, these are human words. These are just soul level passions that are unique to yourself. Okay, so we understand Dharma. Everybody's on a path to fulfill that passion. Some of us are more aware and are like they're in it, and you can tell because we feel inspired. So if you look at the word, the etymology of inspire, it comes from the Latin root spirare, which is the same Latin root for the word spirit. Because we are spiritual beings, we are, when you think of Dharma and the fact that you are in line with your spiritual nature, you are in line with your gift, you are in line with your passion, you are in line with your unique divinity, okay? It's really about us finding what we love and then owning it. Own it. It took me a while to do this. It took me a while to be able to move into this state of like, no, this is who I am and what I am. When you start looking at karma as nothing more than cause and effect. In the Western world, we bastardize karma and karma is, yeah, you get, see, bad karma came back to you. No, it's none of that. It's none of that. It's just merely cause and effect. Whatever energy I'm putting out, that's the boomerang that will come back. That's all karma is. In the Western world, we call it cause and effect. In the Eastern world, we call it karma. So if I'm out here doing wrong, doing things to harm on others, doing things to put people in a lower vibrational state, it's not the universe is like, oh, we're going to get his butt. We're going to get him. He's over here. It's not that. It's the energy that I am resonating at. I will only create and attract and resonate at the level of that energy. So it comes back to me. So when we stop thinking of karma as some type of punishment and start thinking of karma as a cause and effect, if I want to yield the positive effect, I must first have the positive cause. So I started understanding this holographic nature of this universe. in how our lives actually work, like collectively on a universal, not just this life, but all lives, I started to realize this isn't the first life. This is nothing more than the effect of the cause the life before, and then I will have another life after. So why don't I, because right now I'm in the stage of cause for the next life, but this is actually the effect of the previous life, so I can change the wheel of karma by me doing things that are quote unquote good or positive energy, right? Showing people where they're find their peace, putting out positive energy. Now what ends up happening? I'm creating karmic debt. Karmic debt in the sense of debt is not something that's quote unquote bad. Debt in the sense that it's a balancing act. So anytime there's an imbalance, there's debt. The universe has to balance itself back out. So if I create nothing but good karma, meaning I'm doing things that are in line with the spirit, right? And I'm living a life of oneness. Now what ends up happening is I've created a debt. The universe must pay that back equally. It must now give back, boom, what energy I was putting out. So I can't find it right here. I actually had a meditation or a vision or a premonition, whatever you call it. I was able to see all my lives. I was able to, matter of fact, I'll just show you all right now. Let me show you guys real quick. I'm gonna let you guys into my life. All right. This little book right here, okay? Sketchbook. So these are all the sketches of any time I had a vision or anything like that, anything that came to me, right? So this was one of the first ones that I had. You guys can see this. I'm a terrible artist, but this is all I could draw, right? So consciousness, mind, thoughts. And I was shown kind of on the horizon, like how everything works. I'm not gonna get into all of it, but these are all things. This is when my third eye actually opened, right? I was literally in like a meditation, and there was a prism, and light was coming from it, and it hit the crystal, and then it hit me in my third eye, and I had a headache for like 3 days, and I had like a pressure point right where my third eye is. Right, you see all the stars around. But anyway, there was a vision or a meditation while I was shown all my lives. So this is what it looked like. Now this is from the top down. Okay. Time of this was 11/26 of 2022 when this came to me. So I was shown here. Here's my awareness right here. And these are all the lives of how it was shown. Some are green, some are yellow, some are red, right? So if you look at the color key, the lines, yellow meant I was learning. Red meant I had to pay off karma, bad karma. Green meant I was occurring good karma. So you can see right here, and this is how many lives there were total. What does this say? 1,977 total lives. I'm on the 1,333rd right now, my awareness in this life as DG. So my guides were telling me this is what it looks like from the top down. So you can see when you're at this, when you're looking down on it, you can see everything. All lives already exist. This is why Einstein said, when you start understanding that time is a dimension, if you can elevate yourself to the dimension, you'd be able to see everything, all lives, your birth, your death, all at the same time, because they simultaneously exist when you're looking down from a higher dimension. But the issue is with us being in the third, we're not looking at everything from the top down. We're looking at everything ground level. So of course you can only see the life that you're on, but as you elevate your level of awareness, your level of consciousness, you start to see more that exists, and you see that everything already exists. So I'm going off on a tangent here. I don't know if I answered your question, but this is essentially how we move through reality. And when you understand that it's really about me elevating my awareness, that's really all the game is, to make it simple. So that's why I always preach inner child healing, because that was the unaware part of us. But if we can shine our flashlight of awareness on the unaware, we become more aware. And this is how we essentially can live life to the fullest. Next question. Have you already done Kundalini awakening? Have you experienced a powerball inside of your body? I'm trying to think how to say this. I didn't have like a Kundalini awakening where it was like, boom, like all of a sudden it happened. It was that premonition or that dream that I told you when I my third eye opened. It wasn't like this like profound experience where I was seeing all of this stuff. I've always kind of been clairvoyant already, but it wasn't like this one acute moment of like, that's a Kundalini awakening. I mean, everybody, you hear about stories where people do have like that moment when it's like, boom, their third eye busts open and they're like overwhelmed. But mine was nothing like that. So, Paulina, I love the phone call from your future self. It's soothing. Yes, absolutely. Alan Watts referred to as karma as actions that equal the consequences. Yes. Oh, thank you, BBS veteran. I appreciate you. At the end of the day, to make life really simple, just increase your self-awareness. That's all this is. Just increase the awareness of yourself. Just figure out who you are and why you are. Right? If I want to know how this phone works, I'm going to go and Google it. I'll go Google. I'm going to go probably call the manufacturer. I'm going to study Apple. I'm going to study the thought process behind Steve Jobs. I'm going to go through all of these hoops just so I can better understand that. Do the same thing with yourself. Because guess what? The better you understand that phone, the better you understand its capabilities and the technology. And now you can use it for what it was truly intended for. The same goes for you, my friend. The better you understand yourself, you'll start to see yourself more than what you are. You'll see yourself as what you could be. And when you see yourself as you could be, you'll start to see that there were no boundaries, there was no limits, there was no thing that you could not do or become. Because the true nature of you is infinite. It's infinite. Infinite. It means the infinite was inside of the finite. You already had it inside of you. All of us. Oh, thank you, Maria. Thank you. Great question, Lisa, Emily. How do I get out of paralyzed by action? You're paralyzed by action because you think the actions that you take, there will be a corresponding consequence that is either good or bad. So I'm afraid to take the next step. I'm afraid to take the next action because I'm afraid that I may be wrong. Why am I afraid that I'm wrong? Maybe when you were growing up, like me, I was so worried about doing something wrong because I had only got told what was wrong. My parents didn't do it out of negligence. Did this because essentially they were trying to help me. I have to put what you're not doing so you can fix it and do what you're supposed to. Well, subconsciously, what this does is this creates an imprint that I can't do anything right without being lambasted, without getting in trouble. So now guess what? There's a fear. There's a wound. There's a fear of me making a mistake. There's a fear of doing the wrong thing. So I won't even take action. I'll just talk about it and dream about it, but then I won't take the next step. And this is essentially where procrastination comes in. It's because there's a wound. So for anybody listening to this, if you're paralyzed by fear, it's because you think that there was a right or wrong way to go. But when you stop living in the space of the mind and thinking that there was a right or wrong, and you start living in the space of, I'm just going to learn. I'm going to learn more about myself. If it works, cool. If it doesn't, cool. Either way, I'm going to learn. Success is when we have applied what we have learned. Failure is just the tuition that you're paying to learn. There always has to be an energetic exchange. There ain't nothing in this universe for free. I have to learn, so I got to pay tuition. But the way I pay tuition is through what humans have deemed as failure. So now we want the lesson. We want the success. We want the upgrade, but we ain't willing to pay the fee. You got to pay the fee. Failure is how you pay the fee so you can receive the information, apply the lesson, and hit the success. You can't have one without the other. So I hope this helps. Hi, please refer us to 200 books you've read. Vicky Roxana, are you sure that you want to go there? I have a box over there that I can't even lift. I can't even lift it. I have books on my bookshelf back here. I will do this though, because it's probably going to be easier. I'm going to pull up my books right here. These aren't my sacreds. These aren't all of them, but these are a majority of them. Okay. All right. I keep them in my Nike box here. All right. Are we ready? All right. Yes, I will touch on that, Pauline. I'm gonna give you. How about instead of giving 200, I'm gonna give you. Let me give you 10. All right. Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. The Neville Collection. This is all Neville Goddard's books. All right. Jesus, Buddha. Hold on. Krishna, Lao Tzu, Parallel Sayings. All right, there we go. Okay. This oldie but goodie right here. Can you see that? You can't really see that. That says The Science of Mind. The Science of Mind by Dr. Ernest Holmes. Okay. Letters to a Starseed by Rebecca Campbell. The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life. Okay. By Drunvalo Melchizedek. What else we got here? Great book here. Letting Go by Dr. David Holmes. Check that out. Got a bunch of them in here. Oh, this is another good one. Quick, easy read. One Truth, One Law, I Am, I Create. Great book. We got here The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard. That's already in that book that I was telling you. This one right here touches on a lot of stuff. The Light Shall Set You Free. The Light Shall Set You Free. This live will be saved, absolutely. I have not, and we're going to do this every Wednesday. Okay, here's the book you were talking about, As a Man Thinketh, by James Allen earlier. This is a great book, too, as well. The Tao of Physics. This is a great one. Exploration of the parallels between modern physics and Eastern mysticism. Great book. I'm not going to get all, I got tons of books here, but I'm not going to, it's a lot, to say the least. So Paulina, let me answer your question. Can you break down the energy of abundance, the fear of being alone, left out, etc.? Okay. Human beings are obviously, to our awareness, we're not the highest level of consciousness beings in this universe, but to our awareness, we are the highest level of consciousness beings, highest self-awareness beings on this planet. Not that there aren't extraterrestrials. There are that have a higher degree of awareness than we do, but let's just say humans are right now the highest, okay? We have this innate desire, this want to be in communion with each other, with everything. It's naturally encoded in you. Why? Because this is the one thing wanting to know itself and experience itself through different perspectives. So if I can better understand you, I can better understand myself, because you and I actually, at the smallest level, we're the same thing, okay? So we have a fear of being left out or being alone, because isolation keeps us from essentially knowing ourselves from all these other perspectives, okay? So the fear of being alone, though, on a micro level, also comes down to wounds. So maybe you were alone growing up. Maybe dad left the house, or maybe mom was emotionally unavailable. So now you have a fear of being alone because you felt alone. And when you felt alone, you didn't feel safe. You didn't feel secure. You didn't feel worthy. This will create a subconscious wound within you as an adult. So now we have a fear of being alone. We have a fear of abandonment. And now what the ego does is the ego will protect that wound. So it will actually be triggered and start arguments or lash out when the fear starts to come up of being abandoned, because it doesn't want to actually feel the abandonment. So being left out, being alone is actually on a spiritual level. It's like everybody's going to feel it, but also understand that you being left out or being alone is only an illusion, in the sense that you're never really alone, because how can one thing that is everything ever be alone? It can't. This is how we forget to remember. You're forgetting that you were the one thing so you could remember, but the only way you could remember was by first forgetting. And by forgetting, it creates balance to now we do not seek being alone. We actually strive to be with somebody else. But in order to be with somebody else in the vibration that we desire, we ourselves would have had to have been in that vibration. But because we have a fear of being alone, it forces us to start asking why, because of the imbalance energetically. And this is when we start the process of healing. And this is when we start to attract somebody in our life who's at the frequency that we desired. It was because we ourselves moved into that space. So, let's see here what we got here. Manual for manifesting your dream life. Yeah. So abundance is essentially, trying to think how to say this. It's the realization that you have everything that you already need. You have everything already. So if I already have everything, I don't need it. So now I'm abundant. I'm rich. That's what the rich man was. The rich man was the man who knew he had everything that he needed. not the man who had everything that he wanted, because you will never have everything that you want, because the wants and the desires exist within the mind, and the mind exists in a state of survival. So it will constantly think about what more it wants. You know what I mean? Like you want, $100,000 job, and then you get the $100,000 job, and that's not enough. Now you want the $200,000 job, and now if you got the $200,000 job, you want the $1 million job, and you see it keeps going and going. The rich man was the man who knew that he needed nothing because he had everything already. That was what abundance was. And now when you move in that space and that energy, if you have enough thought energy behind it, you will create whatever it is that you're more of, that you're looking to, because you're living in this energetic space. So, good. I'm glad, Lisa. I'm glad this helped. Okay, Manual for Manifesting Your Dream Life. That's a great book, Great Hills. Inner Work is my latest. Okay, that's a great book too. I really recommend you read this book. Okay, I'll check it out. Your wife is really good at bed. I spent really a great night. Not sure what that means. I'm going to keep that one moving. Not sure what that means, because if you were in bed with me last night, I didn't see you. For a long time, I had the strategy to reject people because I was afraid of being rejected. I guess to be in control. Yeah, you want, so like if I grew up and I didn't feel like I had any control, I didn't feel safe. Now, naturally, when I become an adult, the ego will develop a safety mechanism. So now I'm going to seek to be in control because I did not feel control. So I'll always understand the law of opposites. It's the law of opposites. So whatever I'm seeking to do, that means it's because I didn't have it growing up, or maybe there's a wound there. So how do I activate an active relationship with my guides? Great question. So here's what I start doing. Just simply ask. They're already here. They're here. They communicate to you all the time, but you just cannot receive it. It's like this. I can speak in Spanish right now, but Spanish will mean nothing until you learn the language of Spanish. So when I start learning the language of Spanish, you're like, wow, I didn't know you speak Spanish. Yeah, I'd been speaking Spanish. You just didn't understand Spanish. It's about asking them. This is all I did. Communicate to me in a way so that I would be able to understand. They started doing it through animals. They started doing it through like energetic sequences, like goosebumps, or like the hair on my neck would stand up when I ask a question, or if I think of something. When we start understanding how our guides work, they can move through your chakras. They can move through your energy centers. So they may come to you in the form of a thought. That's them moving through the third eye. They may come to you through moving through your heart, right? All of a sudden you have like this feeling like, I got to do this. I got to do. That's them moving through your heart chakra. They could do it through your solar plexus. That's you taking action. Before I know it, I got in the car and I just started driving. That's them prompting you and speaking to you and communicating to you through your energy centers. So what I started doing was asking them, can you please start communicating in a way that I can receive it and I can consciously understand and know that it's you and it's not just some random thing? And my first time was laying down in a meditation and saying, if you're here, will you communicate to me now in a way that I know? And the first time they did, I felt like a wave of just like goosebumps and chills. And I was like, oh man. So I just to make sure, I'm like, if that was actually you, can you do it again? Ever since then, now we have a dialogue conversation. I can literally just close my eyes and ask them, and they will literally just tell me whatever it is I need to know. So I usually do this every morning. This is my quiet time. Is there anything that I need to know? And I always ask, are you there? And they always answer the same. Yes, we are always here. We have always been here. It's really about you just setting the intention and making yourself open. So, well, hello from the community. Millie, how are you, girl? Hello, Millie. How do I learn to trust my intuition? Great question. You learn to trust your intuition by knowing what your intuition sounds like. It's very quiet. It's very subtle. Know what it sounds like, but here's how you learn to trust it is by you first not trusting it. I learned to trust my intuition because I did not trust it and I did not listen to it. I got hit in the head. What was that? Oh, I should have listened. I knew I should have. Now I know what intuition sounds like, what it feels like. So how to raise your vibration to heal and attract a partner, money, and passion. Okay, here's how we do this. Ask yourself what the material or physical thing actually represents to you. Maybe your partner is completeness, is wholeness, it's acceptance. Maybe money equals security and peace. Okay, focus on those energies. What's keeping me from security and peace right now? What's keeping me from wholeness? Start to work on those wounds, and then you will naturally move into the vibration of security and peace and wholeness and acceptance of thyself. And then you won't have a desire for a partner or money to fulfill that. And now that we do not have the desire, this is when we can start to create it. This is the paradoxical effect of reality. So King Josiah, to answer your question, it's really about seeing what's keeping you from embodying the energetic state that those physical things represent in your life. So we got about 2 minutes left. I'm going to take a couple more, and then we're going to keep the show moving. I got to continue on with this thing that we call life. Do we have any more questions? Any more questions? We're going to turn this into a show every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, we're going to get the production behind it a little bit more crisp. But we're going to turn this into a real live show every single week. So I appreciate you 28 that are watching right now. You guys are the founding members. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's it. Just ask questions. You were just great, DG. Happy I run into you. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you for your support. Everybody here, thank you, truly. I can't tell you enough. I can't thank you enough for your energy, for your... I'm blown away that people take the time to tell me things like, wow, you've really helped me. You don't have to tell me that. You can just keep going on about your life. But the fact that you take the time to actually tell me that, to share your energy, I'm so unbelievably grateful. Not because it makes me feel good, but because you took the time to actually share your heart with me when you don't even I don't know, it's mind-blowing. I'm so unbelievably grateful for all of you all involved. The fact that I'm even a part of your journey, I'm here for it. So let's answer a couple more. How can I enter the community? Great question. Great question. Great question. You can enter the community. You can enter the community. I see you out here, Jillian. Great book, right? You can enter the community if you go to link in my bio on all social medias. You will see it, the Conscious Evolution Community. You go to TikTok, you go to Instagram, you'll see the Conscious Evolution Community in my link tree. Join the community. We got some special things coming up here in 3 weeks. I'm telling you, we're about to get turned up in the community. The community is the point of emphasis in 2024. You might want to get my mom used to say you better get your narrow butt in there right now. You better get your hind parts in now, because we're about to turn up in the community. So what do we got here? Oh, I'm so grateful, Maria. I'm so glad. You and Sal are literally salt of the earth. Every time I see you two, I literally start smiling. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you both. Hey, DG, good morning. When you meditate, just surrender. You don't focus to hear anything. It comes to you and hear the sound of silence. Okay. I got you, Gray Hills. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you for sharing that insight. I will definitely try that tomorrow. If you were to estimate how few people are even aware of living in consciousness, if I had to guess, I would say probably 80% of the population is living unaware. Now, obviously, there's a spectrum, right? There's a spectrum of unawareness to asleep. But if I had to guess, it's probably 80-20. How I came up with that number, I don't know. If you meet 10 people, probably one other person besides yourself would be on the level of awareness or close that you can even have a conversation like this. And there needs to be. It needs to be that way, right? Because remember, both sides are needed, right? One side isn't better than the other. It's what creates balance. Look at every ecosystem on Earth. Not every animal is a predator. Not every animal is an herbivore. You have to have balance. You have to have diversity. Diversity is what actually creates unity. So I stopped scoffing at people who are asleep, or maybe they don't have the awareness or self-awareness. You start to realize that, no, those two were needed. You're either a turtle, a giraffe, or an eagle. A turtle, a giraffe, or an eagle. You're either in the third dimension, the fourth dimension, or the fifth dimension. All three of them are in the same, but they're just from different planes of awareness. The turtle was no less than the giraffe, and the giraffe was no less than the eagle. They were all looking at the same thing from different vantage points. So this is why it's We need contrast. This is how this universe works. We need polarity. It allows us to see more of the picture. So I just want to tell you all, I must go, but I love you all. Thank you all for doing this. We're going to do this every Wednesday. We're going to turn this thing into a real live living entity. This will be a real show. Hear me when I tell you this. In 2024, I told you we're going to turn up. We just hit it a couple days ago. Trust me when I tell you this. You better get in the community because we're going to do things here coming up that you will not want to miss out on. You will not want to miss out on what the community is coming up with, the podcast, everything. We turn it up. Thank you all. I love you all. Keep going. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your energy. And I will see you all in either the community, whether it's revamp, whatever it is, a retreat. I will see you all social media. Thank you.